welcome to Mind Your Own Music Business. My guests today are Nancy Andrews, or Nancy Lee Andrews.
Nancy Lee.
Why is it Lee? Sometimes
It's
it's
my name.
Nancy Andrews.
I know everyone calls me Nancy Andrews or Nan. You can call me Nan.
Nancy Lee Andrews, N-L-A.
That's-
Okay.
you know?
And May Pang. Both
Hi.
both Beatle
Chicks.
chicks.
Yeah.
Beatle chicks.
Rock chicks, yeah.
Beatle chicks, right. And you have a middle name, May?
No.
Just May Pang?
Well, yeah, because I had a Chinese name, so I don't use that.
What's that? What's your Chinese name?
Feng Yi.
Phony?
Feng Yi.
Phony, that's your first name?
No, not Feng Yi. It's Feng Yi.
Phony.
Oh,
Phony.
thank you.
Feng Yi.
Feng Yi.
Yes, thank
Feng
you.
Yi.
It means phoenix bird.
Phoenix bird.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Anyway, you two ladies are the, you are the former Ringo
Fiance.
fiance, and you are the former John Lennon
Girlfriend.
girlfriend.
Yes.
Right,
Partner.
right, right. Now, how did now let's get this straight. You guys, you hooked up Nancy with Ringo, right?
Right.
Now, tell me about that, how that happened.
You know what? We had her come over, and the guys, they were around, and, you know, Ringo spotted her. And later on, when John and I came back, you know, later on, a few months later, we were doing something, and I said, Nan, come on by, you know, and
Wait, you knew each other?
yeah.
Wait a second. How did this work? You two knew each other. Now, how did you meet initially, though?
I guess through the group,
Carl, I think.
was it Carl? No, I think it was more Shelter and Danny. What's his name? Shelter Records.
Yeah.
And Lou Adler and
And Lou Ether, right? And
Chris O'Dell.
Chris O'Dell. And Carl was on Shelter.
Right.
And he played
And
on.
Leon.
And Leon.
Carl
yeah.
was the bass player you used to go out with, right? Carl
Radel.
Radel, right.
And you know, you talk
Derek
about all these
Dominoes.
names. You know, Leon Russell, Phil Spector. I mean, it's just let's just throw.
I was one of the old ladies.
All right.
Remember that term?
All right, so you knew each other from that, and you came
Recording
over to some
studios.
party or something?
Well, we would see each other all the time. The girls sort of like,
Did you get along with each other?
oh yeah,
Yeah, okay. So you were friends.
Yes.
yeah.
All right. So you said, and Ringo was at this place that you just happened to be at.
Well, it was at the house. You know, the first time was like I think it was at the house.
the house, yeah, at the
at
beach.
at the beach house where we were recording Pussycats, which was Harry Nilsson's album. Harry had rented this house. Again, here's this myth. Everybody thinks it's John Lennon's house, but it wasn't. It was actually Harry who.
But you ran it.
I ran it.
You ran it.
So.
What do you mean she ran it? What does that mean?
She was the lady of the house as far as she made sure all the food, the food, the cleaning, and John needed what he needed to have, and all the guys had what they needed to have to go into the recording studio. She took care.
So you were there when the Pussycat thing was being recorded?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
John,
that's like
John
legend.
produced
People-
it.
That's like, boy, you really had a front row seat.
I had a front row seat. Well, if you look at the album cover, it talks about the production assistant coordinator. It's me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll look at it. I haven't. at all.
There you go. You're going to have to look at that.
What about that, I'm the Greatest song? Were you around when he was doing that?
No, I was not. I was just, you know, John and Yoko's assistant. I was back in New York, and they were out in L.A. and they were doing it with, you know, with him.
Is that
Right.
the one that Ringo recorded for his first album, On
Yeah.
the Greatest?
Yeah.
Were you around when he did that
Ringo.
one?
No, I met Ringo just as he was starting to promote his Ringo album.
Was it Ringo? And then we were working on the
You were working on Goodnight Vienna.
Vienna.
Yeah, it was like they were starting to put Goodnight Vienna together, his second album. But Ringo recorded I'm the Greatest.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's what I was asking about.
Oh, I thought you were.
No, I was asking about, because that's a John Lennon song that he recorded that most people don't even know
Yeah,
the song.
you know, he wrote it, and he said, I can't sing it. People think I'm like some egotistical maniac if I sang this. I'm the greatest. It was perfect for Ringo. That's exactly what he said.
So let me ask you both a question. When you were growing up, you know, which was your favorite Beatle? Who was your favorite Beatle, Nancy?
John.
And why was John your favorite Beatle?
Because he was smart and I thought he was really smart and sexy and the leader. He always came across as the leader of the band.
Was he the leader?
Yeah.
He was the
Yeah.
leader.
Yeah.
When he spoke, everybody sort of listened. You know,
Right.
so,
And who was your favorite Beatle?
well, this is the funny part. when I was growing up,
Right.
you know, I looked at Ringo because I love his blue eyes. And John actually asked me that question, made the mistake of saying it was Ringo. Now we're talking, he said, who was your favorite Beatle growing up? So I was honest. I said, it's Ringo. He said, what? And I went, oh my God, this is not a good thing. So I
You
said,
didn't think it was funny?
no.
Neither did Ringo when I told him it was John.
Really?
No,
No.
they didn't, not, and so
I
he
guess all
said,
men are the same, huh?
yeah, there you
Even
go.
Beatles.
Basically. Oh, well,
Yeah.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
They're men.
So that's what happened. I tried to backpedal, he wouldn't let me.
No, the truth, John was definitely the truth, the truth.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it hurt. He didn't want to hear that one.
Oh,
He rather, so we saw Ringo that night at a party, and he turned around, he looked at him, and he said, you were her favorite. I was so embarrassed. I said, we're talking about when we were 13. What are you talking about?
Do you remember the first time you saw the Beatles? Did you watch it on Ed Sullivan?
Ed Sullivan.
Really? That was the first time for you too?
yeah.
Did
but
you ever think in a million years that you'd be involved with these people?
No.
No, not at all. Although, I was so angry one day because someone said, one of my classmates, you know, when you're in 8th grade, they said, these people they're fad, they're gonna go away. And I said, no, they're not. Watch, I'm gonna work for them one day.
Really?
Yeah.
The reason why they didn't go away is because they kept getting better. Because all the other music that was around at the same time that sounded like what they did go away.
Right.
But they got better, and that's why, and they led, and they kept going and getting better and better and better. That's why
Right.
they got, you know, that's why they were good. Anyway, do you know, both of you have known lots of people in the music business, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you've been hanging around and you
Oh, yeah.
just named Bernie Taupin before we get on. What do you know about Bernie Taupin? Is that how you pronounce his name?
Bernie Taupin. Yeah.
Okay.
He wrote a song, These Dreams, which of course Hart sang, and you didn't know that.
I didn't know that. I thought that
I
you
didn't
just
know
wrote
that
Elton
either.
John.
Yeah, and then you know,
Did you know Elton John?
yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Where have I been all this time?
I don't know. Where
you know
have
all
you
these
been?
people?
Yeah, I know.
But was he a
It's
nice
rough
guy?
life.
Was he a nice
At the
guy?
time when I met him, yeah. I was there
think anybody's ever gonna interview somebody and
at
say, "Did you
Madison
know
Square
me?"
Garden. I'm standing on the side of the stage where John is singing. That was his last public appearance.
That was his last public appearance.
And I'm
What
like,
did he
listen,
sing?
they sang Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, Whatever Gets You Through the Night, and then they sang one song that John said he really didn't sing. It was really Paul who sang it, which was I Saw Her Standing There. So he sang it with Elton. And this year, I saw Paul sing it for, you know, here's the
Right.
fiancé singing it, as you would say. And he sang it with Billy Joel. And I wrote Paul a note and I said, you know, that was the best. It was a great, I hadn't seen him in like 20 years. And he did, he performed at Yankee Stadium. It was phenomenal. And he wrote back and he said, thank you. Nancy's fiancé, new fiancé.
Now he is, you know.
Now it's
Paul,
husband.
Did you ever meet
Yes.
the girl that divorced him?
Yes,
You did?
yes.
You know, she got like $50 million,
Excuse me.
right?
Yeah.
I would marry Paul McCartney for $50 million. Think
But
you'd
would
marry
you
me?
marry you?
She was a bit cold. That's all
Really?
I can
Yeah,
say.
she was-
She was a bit cold.
I mean, everyone kind of knew it when we looked at her that
That wasn't going to work?
no, she wasn't there for the right reasons.
Right.
You could tell. She had a really nasty mouth.
When you read it, you don't even have to meet her. You just read what the antics that went on. I think when she was on,
Yeah, she
They
kept
got-
accusing him of all these different things that he probably didn't do.
yes, and then
Oh,
when he was
yeah.
on, what was it, when they were on Larry King?
I saw that one. I
Oh.
saw that,
There's
yeah.
several of them. And I missed the one where she took her leg off.
She was trying to be the center of attention. That was the difference. Nobody cared really about her. They cared about Paul.
And Larry King had to tell her to shut up.
I was amazed how little Larry King knew about Paul McCartney and the Beatles. But I guess he was from a different generation.
You know, it's
Yeah.
surprising. It is surprising.
Ring-a-ding-ding generation.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of these books that we got here. So this is Nancy's book, right? A Dose of Rock and Roll. And this is pictures that can you get that, Brian? These are pictures that of people that you've known and seen throughout
And photographed.
and photographs, right? And who's that on the cover? Donovan?
Well, we have Eric Clapton, the man, Ringo. Down here is Donovan, George, and Keith Moon.
Keith Moon.
Oh my God, yes.
Wow, he died, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you know him too?
Yes.
Yes.
Is there anybody you didn't know besides me?
I mean, you know, it was a company that John kept. And, you know, what am I supposed to
Everybody
say?
I
was
should have been in
making-
this company.
Everybody was making music together.
That's right.
Everybody
were-
but me.
They were in and out of each other's recording sessions, like, you know.
We were
Did
there.
they play on? Did they play on? Did anybody play on Paul's? Did Ringo play on any Paul's albums?
I don't think so.
Did George play on any
Paul was always
Ringo albums?
overdoing his own thing.
Who?
Did George play on any Ringo albums?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
did?
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then,
Well, don't
Brian,
forget he
But
wrote
remember,
Photograph.
Paul's the only one that, in fact, Ringo's the only one that had all
All
of them
together.
play with him.
on an album.
at one time, but did they ever play
At
together?
different, no.
No.
They never played all together, though.
No.
Oh,
No, but he had them all on one album. And
Right.
they all
And
contributed
mind you,
songs.
he's the only one, as I said at one point, that he, you know, John was always worried that he'd be the one, because he didn't write his stuff, but a first Ringo album, he's the one with he had more #1 hits than
The first one to get #1
right.
hits.
He didn't have,
Your 16 Photograph, but that's the one?
Back
Yeah.
Off Boogaloo.
yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So he had more #1 hits than the other guys.
They kind of sounded like a little Beatlesque with Ringo singing. I think that's why they were so popular, because they had that sound to it.
Well, can't
Richard
take
Perry.
It, you can't take it out.
No.
Anyway, who took this picture of May? This is May as a youngster, right? Can you get that? There she is,
There
right
I
there.
am. The person
And
I
this is in
believe,
Nancy's book here. Who took that picture?
I believe that was taken by Sarah Kernigan, I think. When there was a group of us, we went to Palm Beach. No,
Palm Springs.
And we were up there, and it was Harry, and so I had to give the camera away.
What was Harry Nilsson like? You know him too?
Oh God.
What was he was a great performer. I mean,
Absolutely.
a singer was great.
Did you see the documentary?
No.
Oh,
Oh,
What,
you
on
haven't
Harry
seen-
Nilsson?
On Harry,
Yes.
you haven't seen it?
that's a
No.
wonderful, wonderful documentary. It's done very well.
The only my connection with Harry Nilsson has just been the music. I listened to a lot of music.
This
Brilliant.
whole documentary is Harry, with the permission from Una, his wife, and the kids and everything. And the music is Harry. And the incidental music is Harry because Sony gave permission for the director, John Scheinfeld, to take off the vocals and have that music that he sang to as part of the background music.
Isn't it odd that his first really big hit somebody else wrote?
Right, Without You, which were
No, not Without You. It was Everybody's Talking.
Fred Neil, and then
Right.
but his biggest #1,
He didn't write Without You? Can't live if living is without you. He
Two
did-
Badfinger Guys.
Really?
Yes,
I didn't know that. See, she does know everything.
I told you.
I know.
because I did the publishing. I worked at Apple, so I know all of this stuff.
That was his biggest hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't the lime in the coconut.
Lime in the coconut.
See,
But wasn't he one of John's favorites or something?
oh, they were all. He
Before
was
he
a
met
favorite.
him, right? How did he hook up with Harry Nilsson to begin
Well-
with? Just called him on the phone one day, Harry, I
Yeah,
like your
because
music?
Derek Taylor actually brought him into light to all the guys. And the person that was really the closest to Harry
Was Ringo.
was Ringo, not really John.
Really?
Yeah.
What? Tell me about
It was
that.
only because of the antics that happened out in L.A. and John was around that they put the two together. But it was really more. Was Ringo and
They were like
Harry.
brothers, yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. They did that crazy film together where Harry played the
Son of Dracula.
son of Dracula.
I thought it was a film. I thought
Yeah.
it was an album. I know.
It's a
It
film.
was Son of Dracula, and then they also did a film with it. I don't know. I don't think I have a copy of it.
No,
It's something that would never see the light of day.
Oh, that'd be interesting to watch. What about were you with Ringo when he did that caveman thing?
Yeah.
What was that called?
What was that
Caveman.
called? Caveman?
It was called Caveman.
It was called Caveman.
Oh.
That's when he met his wife, Barbara Bach.
Oh, wait a second. That's not a good thing then, right?
No, it is a good thing. It turned out to be a good thing in the end, but at the time it was sort of
Painful.
painful. Thank
That
you.
was the breakup part then. Oh.
Yeah, he was at. We were in Mexico, and that's where he met Barbara.
Oh.
She went after him.
Really? Well,
Well, let's put it
Can't
this
blame
way.
her. He's cute.
It's cute.
who's cuter, me or Ringo? Don't answer that question.
I won't say a word.
Who do you think's better looking, me or Brad Pitt?
You really, are you really?
All
Kidding me? There's
Then
no
I
contest.
know, I know.
You.
Let me hold up May's book here. Here we go. Here's May's book. It's Instamatic Karma. I guess that's the play on instant karma.
Yes.
Instant karma is going to
Yeah.
get you.
Yeah.
Knock your- Was John Lennon crazy when he went? I mean, he seemed like a little bit off for a while. When did he go nuts a little bit, or was
On
that,
what? Where?
I don't know. Was he? He seemed like he was like.
See, your DNA has absorbed all the myths.
Yeah, I know. I'm busting the myths
know.
right now.
No, we're busting the myths for
Right.
you.
Right. He was just a
Get him.
normal, everyday guy,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
Who happened to be a really good songwriter, musician.
Right? Who actually changed, him and his band changed the face of music. And
Not only music, he changed
wait a
the
minute,
face
and the
of.
pop culture.
Right.
Because that's what it was. It's not, it was a phenomenon. It's not about just a band. So they managed to do a whole change. But he didn't go crazy. Again, it's that myth. It's the press. They want to.
They have that whole myth about the what's it called, the Lost Weekend, something like that.
So if I tell you the Lost Weekend, meanwhile, when you read my book and you realize it, he was more productive in recording during that whole time period than any other time in his solo career.
There's a long.
But he kind of quit after that was over, right? Didn't he
Sort
take
of.
like 5 years off or something?
Right. So what are we talking about? How crazy are we? When he sang with Elton, he appeared with Elton. He did a jam with Paul. He produced Harry. He
David Bowie.
co-wrote the song "Fame" with Bowie.
He did?
Yep.
It's another thing I didn't know. I thought I knew everything.
There you go. I mean, but these are all the things that were happening. And working with Ringo, wrote the song for Ringo. So this all happened in that year and a half.
Several.
Right, so it wasn't very much of a lost
No, and
weekend.
Keith Moon, we gave him a song for Keith Moon. We gave him a song to Johnny Winters. Let's see, who else? I mean, there's
Did he miss not
He
being
did.
in the Beatles? Did each of them miss not being a Beatle, or were they sick of it and they were glad for the break?
I don't think speaking. I can't speak for Ringo, but I know during that time, he was so elated to be doing his own thing, and so happy that his brothers were contributing to it. 'Cause
Did they have the feeling that they were going to get back together at one time to
yes. John, I was pushing for it, and John thought, enough times passed, we could do a concert here and there.
right?
And
keep it on the down low.
yeah, without big fanfare. And he talked about writing with Paul again.
Really, that's you don't hear about that stuff.
No.
You hear about the $50 million offers at the time just to play one night or something.
Yeah, that was the Sid Bernstein.
Right.
Yeah.
That's another one of those things.
Sid kept asking us. We would go to a restaurant. He would say, "Please, can you guys just get together?" And he said, "Sid, well, right now we just can't do it." So after a while, we'd be going to the restaurant, and Sid'd be sitting there, and he goes, "Oh no, we can't go into the restaurant right now. Sid's there. I don't want to be asked again."
What do you think of that "Free as a Bird" thing? When they came back together. Do you remember that on the anthology? When was
Well,
that
they
song
didn't come
done?
back together. They put them together.
Yeah, I know, but when was that done? When was the original "Free as a Bird" done?
God.
Was that done during your time, or was it?
No, it's
No.
after.
It was after,
He probably did it, put it in the shelf, and left it.
and just left it
The
there.
visual to that song was magnificent.
What did you think about the anthology? Did you watch it all?
No, I didn't.
I watched some of it. I
Really?
watched some of it. Yeah.
Well, I thought it was great. I'm just a fan on the outside, absorbing all the myths.
There you go.
So you guys go to Beatles Fest now, right?
I don't.
She
You
doesn't.
don't go
No. I went 2 years in a row.
for the guy in New Jersey.
Yeah, Mark Lapidus for the fans of the Beatles.
Right. Who else shows up at those things? Isn't there a Louise Harrison or
I
doesn't she
think
go?
she went years ago.
Yeah, I don't think she's been doing it lately.
No, Mark Hudson is always there. He's like the leader of the band.
No, which guy is? What did he do?
He was the Hudson brothers.
But what does he have to do with the Beatles?
Well, he was with Ringo for like 7 or 8 years, and when Ringo started going on the road, and he was his band leader, and they did albums together.
Was he the guy who's the father of
No,
Goldie
that's his
Hawn?
brother.
Oh, so you already knew the question, then you get it out.
Yeah, because people make mistakes. This way.
Oh,
He's the one.
Kate
that-
Hudson.
Kate Hudson, yeah.
That's
his.
Mark
she's
is the uncle.
The uncle.
Mark's the uncle. Okay, Uncle Mark.
Uncle Mark.
So what about who else was there? Do you know Louise Harrison?
Yes, I know Louise.
She
was-
was. She's.
You don't look like you get along with her.
No, I do, but I don't talk to her. She's of a different generation. I don't really talk to her.
Oh, speaking of, besides, Brian was telling me about this. You're nominated for some kind of Grammy Award?
Well, then
what?
we have an album that's in the Grammy for nomination, and it's called, it's a bully. It's a CD's about, I don't even know the title. Can you imagine, Brian?
All about bullies, big and small.
Right, all about bullies, big and small, and it's about this day and age, about people bullying other kids or whoever it may be. And I did, I read a poetry, and they did the music to it, and I did one of the songs.
Oh.
So it's great. And if there's any voting members out there, please vote for it.
Well, you were never part of the music business, right?
Well, I had worked with Lou Adler.
Oh, you were part of the music business.
Yeah, I
Oh,
had.
well,
I had worked.
there goes
with
that
Lou-
one.
Out the window.
I'd worked with Lou Adler back before I met Ringo, even.
With Denny Cordell and
With
all that.
when Denny Cordell was at Shelter,
Oh, that's right.
Lou Adler had at the time he had Carole King, who was still Tapestry, was still on the charts.
Yes.
Tefano and Giammarese, Larry Carlton.
What about the Mamas and the Papas? Didn't they have them? That's somebody different.
No, that was somebody different, but he had this wonderful relationship with Michelle Phillips.
What is that supposed to mean?
Exactly
they were good
that.
friends.
They were good friends.
Yeah. Who else did we
I
have?
met Michelle Phillips a bunch of times.
She's great. She's a
Yeah.
real girl.
Yeah,
She's a gal.
yeah.
As our friend Tommy Slocum would say, she's a real broad.
So you worked in the music business too, right?
Yeah. I started out at Apple and APCO,
Right.
Alan Klein's office, and that's where I started. And I that was the best training ground for me in the music business.
Right. Who's your favorite in the music business of all time, besides John Lennon and the Beatles?
Oh, that's kind of hard because you meet
you
a
love
lot
music.
of people. It's really
What's your
difficult.
favorite music in the music business?
Favorite
Well,
music?
you're going home right now and you want to put something
I
on.
put on the '60s.
But who do you put on?
I just listen to Satellite and give me anything of the '60s.
Okay. And who do you put on?
I'm a 60s girl too. I'll go home and put on Aretha Franklin.
Yeah.
I'll go home and put on Sam Cooke. I've got his anthology.
God,
I'll
it's
go home and
great.
put on Bobby Darin. I love Bobby Darin.
And in the '60s and '70s, and I also love the '70s. That was the time. That was the time. That was the music, and all these bands now. You hear a lick
Yeah.
on a guitar.
Right.
You know what we're listening to. You go, oh, there's Led Zeppelin, or
Right.
oh, isn't that?
Retread rock and roll.
Yeah, yeah. You can hear
know
you can hear riffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can hear riffs.
I think we need a change in music somehow to get something different going on.
Yeah.
It's all sort of mediocre, isn't it? It all sort of sounds
Well,
alike.
they're ripping off. They're sampling a lot of the '60s and '70s stuff.
I'll give you an example. My nephew, we're in the car, and he would always say, "Aunt Nan, you got to hear this." And he'd throw a CD, and I hear, "Rabbit, rabbit, rabbit, rabbit." Your mom Bell hit me with a whopping bill, kind of stuff. And then in the back, he say, "I can't stand the rain," and I'm going. And then there'll be a mini Ripperton. I said, "I know that song," and I'm singing the words, and he's going, "How do you know this? How do you know this?" I said, "Because it was recorded 30 years ago." He goes, "I didn't know that.
Yes.
I thought it was this rap group." And
Well,
I'm
no,
going,
it's the same thing when I do
no."
it with my daughter, and I said, I heard No Doubt sing one of I said, that's an '80s tune. They go, no. I said, it's been done before. Or Janet Jackson doing, there was a song, and the opening was a Ventura Highway. I mean, it's just, you just know, it's just, I'm telling you, I know these songs.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was Minnie Riperton, Killing Me Softly. That was the one that this rap group.
Oh, no, you're talking about.
I thought that was Roberta
no, that was
Flack.
Roberta Flack.
Roberta Flack.
Yeah.
Roberta Flack. See, I knew
Thank
something.
you. You did.
You wouldn't believe what my favorite group was.
Who?
Besides the Beatles, of course, they were my favorite
The
group.
Stones?
No,
No.
Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Love them.
They were my
love them.
favorite.
Absolutely.
Love them.
I
I
was
went
at-
to see
I was
them
at
like
Mary's,
5 or 6 times.
Yeah, I was at Mary's.
Did you know her?
I met her service. Her husband was a friend of mine. Yeah, I met.
Oh, really?
I went to the memorial service for her.
Yeah.
Lovely woman.
Yeah, I sat behind her once in somewhere, and I turned the lights on, and she stood up. I said, "Wow, look who I'm sitting behind."
Lovely woman. Lovely
Yeah, I
woman.
used to go see them all the time because it just such a good feeling when you went to their concerts.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
kind of a wimpy thing, Peter, Paul, and Mary, huh?
Not really. I mean, I was a big New Christine Minstrels fan.
That's wimpy than Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Oh my God.
It's dating me back there.
I still go to like oldie shows. You hear me?
The oldie shows are the best.
Yeah, I go and I see Lou Christie and
Lightning strike. You know, so let me, before we run out of time, you live in Nashville, Nancy, right?
yeah.
You live in Nashville, and you're a photographer here.
Yeah, I'm sort of semi-retired, but yeah, I still do a few CD packages a year.
Okay, and you live in New York.
I live in New York and I've been
And-
doing my book and I do gallery showings with Miss Nan over
We do
here.
gallery shows.
Gallery of your photographs.
we
right?
do.
We
We've
do
done some
limited
great shows.
editions of our prints
Fine
of
art.
Yeah.
So you live in Rockland County, like you told me.
I live in Rockland. Yes.
Right. And what town is it, Rockland?
I'm not going to say it anymore because I don't need people to be descending on my home.
Right.
And I do have that.
The 8 people that are watching this show will be sending you home.
Listen, you would be surprised.
Are we out of time?
I guess.
Are we off?
Are we out of time?
Oh.
Okay, we got to get going. So anyway, my name's Jesse Goldberg. This is Nancy Lee Andrews. This is May Pang. And we'll be back next week with another edition of Mind Your Own Music Business.